Hi, just to continue on the earned value management and the progress thereof. So, as you know, project happens and just doesn't happen through a miracle. Okay, a lot of work is getting involved, and one of them is progress measurement. So we're going to tackle that very shortly. As I've discussed, or as we discussed last week, there are 6 states of earned value measurement that you can have. So on the left here, we have state 1 and state 2. That is quite good. So we're doing here, we've got earned value. So progress is much better than the plan, and the actual cost is quite low. Stage 2, progress measurement is good, cost is still lower. So in other words, our performance is quite good, and the actual plan is much better than what we anticipated. On state number 3, the actual cost is lower, so the planned value is better. The earned value is not so good, so we're slightly behind on our time, but our cost is very well. On state 4, we have our actual cost is higher than our earned value. In other words, we're spending more than what we're doing, and our performance is quite well as well against our budget or against our plan. State 5, the actual cost is lower than the plan, so we're not doing so well, and our performance is very low. So that's not good. State 6 is also not good because here our plan and our progress is not as well as what it should be. So what I would want to do is just go through a couple of things that people do on their projects. Now, normally what people do, they normally tackle and they take the money, they take the budget and they measure their budget against the, they take the actuals against the budget and they say that's the progress for the project. Now, in this specific case, that would be 47%. Now, that is obviously not adequate. So we need to be able to measure it in a different way. Now, before we can measure, we need to freeze the project. In other words, we cannot measure against a project that has a moving target, in other words. So we need to freeze it. Now, how do we measure progress? So we measure progress and we take it down to measurable tasks. In other words, our work breakdown structure. Now, here's an example thereof. And what we do is we take a specific contract and we'll break that down into more detail. So we will show that now here. So here we have, like, let's say piling, civil work, and steel work, and as you can see there, the quantities. We got the budgets, and we got the quantities against that, and obviously the money. So we also need a responsible person, as you can see, against that. So we need to select a uniform method of calculating progress. So here we have a couple of methodologies. So we can use weighted milestones and other steps. So one is 10% for X done and 30% for Y done. We can have units completed compared to the forecast units, or we can have apportionment of work. Okay. Now here we have some progress that we've taken on this specific project that we're looking at, and as you can see, there's a couple of percentages there. So we have 86% and 93%. Now the variance between those two is quite high. So on top of that, we have another one, 95%. So we have installed percentages, as you can see here, installed percentages. We have percentage complete. And we have progress. Now, this is our earned progress. So this is the earned value that we have. Now, as you can see on the next slide, that these things can actually start varying quite differently. So our progress here is 86%. So 86%. So here we have our budget. There's our budget of 3.49 million. And we got 3.44 million that we've spent. We've got another 270,000 to do. So in other words, we're going to overspend by 227,000 here on this project. So, but our progress is still 86%. So does this mean we are ahead of schedule, or does this mean our forecast costs have any correlation to the progress? So these are the questions you need to be able to track, because those are the questions that we ask in some assignments that we're going to give you. So just take note of the questions, and you can review this video again and again if you would want to. So now here we have another percentage figure. We have now 99% that we're showing, but 99% is, so there's the budget and there's the actual. So we spent 99% of the money, but we are way off. We still got 14% of the work to do. So that is a lot of work that has to be done. So the same questions apply here. We know we are going to overspend. The question is, are we ahead of schedule? So, and can we look at some meaningful variances right now? So those are the things that I'm going to give you in your assignments that you have to do. So we have the actual costs, and we also have our physical progress. So now let's take this information and go forward with that on the assignments. So in the assignments, we'll give you more guidance on what to do, but you've learned all of that work in the earned value management module. Okay, as I can see there, those are the percentages. But yeah, thank you, and we will discuss. I'll close up with a different video shortly.